Hey, good morning. It's Mark here with another morning rant. Yep, 4:55. Hey, I want you guys to see something. Let's get into the gubernatorial races. It's a tie in New Jersey, 49% to 49%. So there's going to be a recall. There's going to be some lawsuits and things like that that's going on between the Republicans and the Democrats in New Jersey. In New York City, they have a black mayor. Cannot remember the guy's name, but he won. I'm not sure if he's the first black mayor or not. I don't think he is, but he won. I think he ran on the Democrat ticket. But the bellwether, what's supposed to be considered the bellwether for the 2022 and 2024 elections, is the Virginia gubernatorial race between Rich Youngkin and Democrat. I can't remember his name. And the Republicans won last night. The Republicans won the gubernatorial race in Virginia. So, of course, this is supposed to be the bellwether for the next elections. So it's obvious. Well, we already know from history, from data, that the Democrat, that whomever is in power during the election, their midterm elections are always bad. So Barack Obama came in on a landslide victory. The 2010 midterms, he admitted that he got shellacked. It was reported around the world, or at least around the country, that he got shellacked, excuse me, in the 2010 midterms. So Donald Trump, he was elected in 2017. In 2019, he lost the House. He lost the House, and it was a close Senate. Joe Biden wins. He wins on a slim margin in the House. He wins on an even split in the Senate. So who knows what's going to happen in the 2022 midterms? But history tells us that he's going to lose the House and he may lose the Senate. So we already know that. But getting to the news, I want you guys to see something. It's a quick video. These people here, I turned off the sound, but these people here are in Dallas, Texas yesterday. They were in Dallas, Texas on the grassy knoll area, the Dallas area where John F. Kennedy was assassinated. He was assassinated right here on the street right here. It was believed, the reason why these people are here, it was believed that John F. Kennedy Jr. Was going to show up, and he was going to announce. Well, hold on. I'm going to let you see the video again. These people here, and it was more than this. There are other videos out there that shows a ton more people at the grassy knoll area than just this. But they believed that, give me a second. Yeah. They believed that John F. Kennedy Jr. was going to show up and he was going to announce Donald Trump as president. And he was going to be vice president. Now, where that falls in the Constitution, I do not know. How can a man show up out of the blue and say, hey, here I am, Donald Trump is president and I'm vice president? And then the added bonus to that was that Donald Trump was going to step down and they were going to appoint Michael Flynn as the vice president. John F. Kennedy Jr. was going to be president. Michael Flynn was going to be vice president. These people there believe that. Problem is, first of all, I don't find anything in the Constitution that says a man can show up somewhere and appoint somebody president. Second, and tragically, John F. Kennedy Jr. died in a plane crash off the coast of Martha's Vineyard in 1999. John F. Kennedy Jr. has been dead for over 22 years. These people believed that he was going to show up and appoint Donald Trump president. and that Donald Trump was going to step down as president. First of all, we know his arrogance. He wasn't going to do that. But he would step down as president, make John F. Kennedy Jr., who was vice president, make him president, and he was going to appoint Michael Flynn as his vice president. The insanity of it all. Now, I don't like going to weird news, weird websites to get my news, but I needed to find something. This is from Qanon.com. I don't know if this is a credible source or not, but I needed to find something that would say that would tell me what was going on yesterday. And I'm going to get to some of this stuff in a minute, but here's the theory. Okay, based on this website, the theory was born out of online QAnon message boards who believe the conspiracy that the elite global cabal of satanic pedophiles is engaged in mass child sex trafficking, and former President Trump will expose this group and have its members arrested and sentenced to death, according to Newsweek. The QAnon theory also says that John F. Kennedy Jr. has been hiding for more than 2 decades, only to return as Trump's vice president. The group also believes Trump will step down and let John F. Kennedy Jr. step in as president and appoint former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn as vice president. In July 2019, Rolling Stone reported that QAnon members believed that JFK Jr. would appear on July 4th that same year. Some believe that a fedora-wearing avid Trump supporter named Vincent Fusca was actually John F. Kennedy Jr. So here's a woman right here. She's saying that this guy here is actually John F. Kennedy Jr. She believes this guy. Okay. For those of you who don't know, this is what John F. Kennedy Jr. looks like. Handsome brother. Look good. Head full of hair. This is John F. Kennedy Jr. I'm not sure when this picture was taken. They believe that this guy is actually John F. Kennedy Jr. today. Let's go further. So she believes this is John F. Kennedy Jr. As of 10:34 a.m., Monticelli says that QAnon crowds gathering at the grassy knoll of the Dealey Plaza had grown significantly larger. Crowd is now significantly larger as we get closer to the time when JF Kennedy will ostensibly make his announcement. There was still no appearance of John F. Kennedy Jr. These people believe. Here's another one, I think. There's currently a large crowd of what appears to be QAnon believers at the AT&T Discovery Plaza in downtown Dallas. A popular QAnon theory recently is that John F. Kennedy Jr. of the Kennedy family will be making a big announcement at Dealey Plaza by the grassy knoll sometime tomorrow. So these people was there on November 1st waiting for November 2nd. These people here. They were at that area on November 1st, waiting for the announcement to happen on November 2nd. This would be funny if it wasn't so sad. And this is not all Trump supporters. Not all Trump supporters believe that he won. But there are a large amount of Trump supporters. Within the Trump support, there's a significant amount of people that believe in this QAnon stuff, that believed that John F. Kennedy Jr., who has been dead for 22 years, was going to just miraculously show up and announce Donald Trump as the president. Now, again, I'm a good conspiracy theorist. I love conspiracy theories. I love watching documentaries on conspiracy theories. I love it. I'm not a believer in it, but I love it. They make some convincing arguments. it's entertaining for me. I remember the death of Tupac when Tupac died in '96, and I had just started getting into Tupac because I thought Tupac was an idiot, but I thought Tupac was a genius, and I never correlated the two. I never put Brenda's Got a Baby with the I Get Around guy. So I'm like, I love this guy, but who the hell is this guy? And once I realized that this guy was that guy, I'm like, oh crap, so let me do a little bit more. So I started to get into Tupac, and I'm like, I'm loving Tupac. And it was 1996 when I really started getting into Tupac. I mean, I had watched Juice and all that other stuff, and I liked that guy, but I didn't know that that guy was that guy, you know? So right when I was starting to get into Tupac, he was assassinated. He was killed. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember running down to a friend's house saying, oh my God, guess what? You know, Tupac's been shot. And I thought, you know, he got shot 5 times once. You know, he got shot 7 times now. Maybe he can pull through. Who knows? He didn't make it. So for a long time, everybody thought that Tupac had faked his death and that Tupac was somewhere else and that Tupac was going to come back. And then there was this thing where, you know, the conspiracy theory was he created the 7-day theory, Don Illuminati, the 7-day theory, because he would come back in 7 years. So I'm like, okay. And that was what, roughly 2003 that he would come back if he died in 96. And, you know, he would come back in 2003. I'm like, yeah, right. You know, Tupac is dead. You know, it is what it is. But a little bit of me was saying, okay, what if he comes back? You know, what if he did fake his death? What if he, you know, needless to say, he never came back. But I wasn't as much of a believer of that conspiracy theory as these people are of this. These people actually believed, and they showed up thinking that Donald Trump and John F. Kennedy Jr., who has been dead for all these years, was going to come back. Now, again, when it come to Tupac, I never believed the man would come back. I just said, hey, what if he does? That would be crazy. These people showed up thinking, and who knows, they keep pushing back Donald Trump becoming president. You got the My Pillow guy who's saying, okay, Donald Trump is going to be reinstated this day, this day, this day. They keep pushing it back. It's like those people who believed that they know when the end of the world is coming. Well, based on the Bible, the end of the world is this year. Based on the Bible, the end of the world is this year. And it says in the Bible that no man knows the time and date when the world will end. Not even the Son of Man knew. That was all up to his Father. But people still believe, yep, it's coming. We living in the last days. I love it. I love to hear black folks say this. We living in the last days. But they don't understand that history, people said the same thing in the 1800s. People said the same thing in the 1700s. When the Black Death was going around, when the Black Plague was going around, they thought that was the end of days. When smallpox was rampant, they thought that was the end of days. When what's that? Not smallpox. That was another one. That flu, that mass, that 1819 or 1918 flu. I cannot remember the name of it. But that pandemic, they thought that pandemic was the end of the world. They thought that the Great Depression was the end of the world. No one knows when it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. It could happen right now. It could happen tomorrow. We don't know. Time is constructed by man. Man has developed time. Okay, think about it like this. Scientists have made a trajectory, right? And they have BC, BCE, and AD, right? You have before the Common Era, and Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord, right? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other times. So if you go by the actual date of the world, or at least date of human civilization, we are not in the year 2021. Because if you go back and look at people like Julius Caesar and further back, you'll see that they count backwards. It's weird, but they count backwards. He was born in 829 BC and he died in 729 BC. It's like, whoa, so something to that effect. So time is constructed by man, and because we set the calendar, we set the times, we do this daylight saving time thing. So we're manipulating time. But again, when it comes to conspiracy theories and whether or not Trump is going to be reappointed to the White House, and they still believe that. Oh, I saw this one lady. I think it was on TikTok. This one lady believes that Joe Biden is president of Washington, D.C. only, and that Donald Trump is president. Another guy, I showed you guys a video of Mississippi. Another guy believed Donald Trump was still president. It's crazy. Again, it would be funny if it wasn't so sad. Yeah. Let me get up out of here. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the 2022 elections. There will be some mail-in balloting. People can still mail in their votes, but I think largely come next year is going to be show up to the polls. So, and this is a midterm election. Most Democrats do not vote in the midterms, so it's going to be up to the Democrats to get something done to where people can show up to the election, to the polls. I'm of the opinion that we should have already had electronic voting. Make it secure, make it as secure as possible, so can't nobody hack into it. But people should be able to vote from home. I mean, you can put all your little security measures in there you want. The military has common access cards or CAT cards. You can get a CAT card reader, put that sucker in there, and it's a secure CAT card. Or you can use your driver's license and stick that sucker in there and vote. It should be a way that people can vote electronically. But again, we got to deal with security, not just domestic security, but international security, because you got hackers everywhere. But there should be a way for everybody to vote. It should be accessible for everybody who is of legal age to do so and who is a citizen of this country. So we'll see what happens in 2022. We'll see if Youngkin, who has just won the election for the Republican Party in Virginia, we'll see if that speaks to a larger issue for the Democrats as far as winning in 2022 and 2024. So again, you guys have a great day. Today's Wednesday, and I will see you on the next one. All right, y'all take care. I'm out.